Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will do chapter 1 of Economics, Indian Economic Development. Name of the chapter is Indian Economy on the Eve of Independence. There was exploitation by the Britishers at the time of independence. There was exploitation in the field of agriculture, industrial sector and international trade. You can see here I have mentioned that there was exploitation in the industrial sector and the international sector and the agriculture. All the fields wherever we were earning money were being exploited by the Britishers. Let's see how they exploited agriculture, industrial sector and international trade. Colonial exploitation of agriculture. Britishers targeted and ruined the agriculture. They established a Jamidari system, which was actually a threefold triangular relationship between government, Jamidars, and the tillers. At that time, Jamidars were considered the owners of the land, and tillers were the people who actually used to do farming on the land. Jamidars not used to do farming on the land. They were just collecting a amount from the tillers of the production done on the land. Government used to charge fixed rent from the jamidars, so they had nothing to do with the tillers, and jamidar used to take a proportion of produce from the tiller, but the proportion was not specific. It can be any amount. So gradually Jamidar started taking big part of the produce and tillers started starving as nothing used to be left with them. As government used to get fixed rent from the zamindars, so they were also not worried about the condition of the tillers and improvement of the land. And zamindars started keeping huge part of land produce revenue for his luxuries only. So not for improvement of the land and condition of the tillers. So this is how colonial people exploited our economy and agriculture, which was the major source of income in our country at that time. 72% income, 72% people of our country were engaged in agriculture only. Now if we come to industrial sector, almost 10% people or 10% of our population was engaged in industrial sector. Most of our industries consisted of handicrafts industry. In that time, India's handicraft were famous. India used to export its handicraft, but when Britishers started exploiting industrial sector, it increased the export duty on handicraft, which in turn increased the prices of our export and made them costly in outer or foreign market. So this led to fall in demand of our exports in foreign country. Secondly, British also ruined the domestic or internal market of our goods by reducing the import duty on their own country's product. So because of cheap price, the demand for British good rose and Indian good demand seemed to be costlier. Indian good demand fell. Indian goods demand Indian goods seeming to be costlier than British goods, so demand for Indian goods fell. Moreover, their goods were machine made, so had good finishing and looks. This is how they ruined and handicrafts by not letting our handicrafts to be exported and sold in the domestic market also. A colonial exploitation of international trade. British exploited our international trade through discriminatory tariff policy. Now, what was this? Discriminatory tariff policy. They followed a policy in which taxation policy was imposed in such a way that we could not do external trade as well as internal trade. British started taking all raw materials from India through duty free export means cheaper cost of production of British product, which made their product cheaper. Import of finished good. Import duty on the finished good from Britain was removed, which further made their product cheaper in the market as compared to Indian goods. Second topic in the this chapter comes the features of Indian economy on the eve of independence. What were the features of Indian economy? You can get a question on this also. The main features of Indian economy were stagnant economy, this backward economy, and it was industrial backwardness was there, infrastructure condition was poor, heavy dependence on import from other countries, and poverty. So let's begin. Stagnant economy. Economy faced lowest level of growth. Economy on the eve of independence came out to be a stagnant economy, means with very less amount of growth rate. At that time, our economy resources were exploited very badly. We had no capital base and no industrial base. Our economy has reached to the lowest level, because of which Indian people had to face poverty and low standard of living. Stagnant economy was the main condition that we could not compete with the finished product that were coming from the Britishers. Next is the next feature of our economy at that time was backward economy. Backward in sense, most of our earning was coming from agriculture, and agriculture was in the phase of backwardness. There was no modern means of production was being used there, and also nothing improvement was taking place. Also no growing phase was there in agriculture, so it was in the backward stage of economy. India's 70% earning were coming from agriculture, which has been destroyed. Our industrial base also has been destroyed. Resources has been exploited. In that case, our per person capital income has become very low. So there were no sources for people of India to earn income. So per person income declined considerably. So our economy became a backward economy. Productivity had fallen considerably in all the sectors. Next feature of Indian economy at that time was industrial backwardness. Industrial backwardness in sense, if we talk about the industry, we had no capital good industry which earns money for us in long term, and there were no one to invest money in heavy industries, no capital good industry, no basic good industry. Government was just focusing on railways, ports, power generation, but was completely ignoring other industry, and the industry which were they focusing on were all in all for their own benefits, not for the improvement of our country. Next feature which comes of our economy at the time of independence is infrastructure condition. Condition of infrastructure was very poor. Infrastructure of any country includes bridges, dams, colleges, roads, etc. Infrastructure condition was very poor at that time. No such kind of improvement was taking place. Heavy dependence on imports is the next feature which was there. Beside all these problems, we have become dependent on imported British and other countries' goods. Finished goods, defense equipments, all were coming from Britain. Our own industrial base has completely collapsed. Next is poverty. People who had become so poor that they lacked the means to satisfy their basic needs. So these 7 points shows that our economy had become completely backward and stagnant economy with very low per capita income and no agricultural and industrial sector support. Third topic that comes at that time was Condition of agriculture sector on the eve of independence. Agriculture sector, you already have known that agriculture sector was badly affected by the colonial exploitation. So what was the condition of agriculture sector? As you can see here, that low level of production and low productivity. So low level of production and low productivity, as we have already discussed, the Jamidari system has completely ruined our agriculture. They were completely ruined. There were low production and productivity. Production means how much output is being generated on the land, and productivity means output generated per hectare of land. So there was low production and low productivity. Next is high degree of uncertainty. High degree of uncertainty. Why there was uncertainty in agriculture? Because our farmers were depending on rainfall for irrigation purpose. There was no means of irrigation, for permanent irrigation, for the agriculturalist or the tillers or the farmers. There was high degree of uncertainty as there was very less agricultural mean to irrigate field. Government was getting fixed rent, so was not interested in the agricultural improvement. So our poor farmers produce was dependent on rainfall. When they had good rainfall, their produce used to flourish, and when they had no rainfall, they used to starve because they could not earn anything because of low production. So there was high uncertainty in agriculture sector. Next feature of agriculture sector at that time was dominance of subsistence farming. As you can see here, dominance of subsistence farming. Farmers not used to have stock of goods which they could sell in the market. Whatever they were growing to be sufficient only to fulfill their own family needs. Land holdings were so small and fragmented. Land holdings were the reason that they could not bring a permanent source of irrigation. Next feature of our agriculture at that time was small and fragmented land holdings. As the land holdings with the tillers or farmers was so small, so it was not possible to bring permanent system of irrigation into the field. Another feature of our agriculture at that time was land revenue system under the British Raj. You already have seen that Zamindari system has ruined the tillers and their productivity also. So Zamindari system we have already discussed. And the next is last, at the last there was a gulf between the tillers and the owners of the land, that is the Jamidars. Owners or zamindars living luxurious life, but on the other hand, the condition of tillers was so bad that they started dying out of starvation. So the difference in the living condition of the tillers and zamindars was huge. These were all the features of agriculture at the time of colonial exploitation. We were badly affected by the exploitation done by the Britishers. Another topic which is there in this chapter is industrial sector on the eve of independence. What were the features shown by our industrial sector on the eve of independence? At the time of independence, Britishers has done a systematic deindustrialization of our industries. There were decay of handicraft industry and also bleak growth, slow growth of capital and modern industry. So, discriminatory tariff policy also was there. Tariff policy, heavy export duty on Indian handicrafts and other goods, and no tariff duty or import duty on British manufactured goods, machine made goods. This resulted in fall in demand of Indian industries. Comparison of handicrafts and machine made industries was there. This that is why also our products were suffering. Indian, due to the early industrial revolution in Britain, British goods were coming in bulk and were cheaper, and also people had high craze for machine made goods. Nowadays it is not so. People prefer machine made goods at that time. So demand for handicraft good declined considerably. You can see here I have mentioned that there were discriminatory tariff policy. There was a this new pattern of demand was there. Now change in pattern of demand was arising. We were including we were including the western culture into ourselves. We were inclining toward western culture, so our handmade goods started becoming obsolete and of olden times, not able to compete with the modern time handicrafts, sorry, this modern time crafts. So our handmade goods started becoming obsolete day by day. Another feature of industries was that at that time railways were introduced. So as you can see, I have mentioned that there was railways which was introduced at that time. So what happened when railways were introduced? Britishers introduced railways, and though it is of lot of benefit to us at present time, but at that time they were all and all for the benefit of Britishers only. All the British imported goods were loaded into the railways and were brought into India, and similarly Indian raw materials were loaded into railways and were exported to Britain. Now comes the next part, next topic, that is foreign trade under the British rule. Foreign trade under the British rule, you can see I mentioned here this foreign trade under the British rule. India just became the net exporter of raw material and importer of duty free finished goods. Market for Indian good had been captured completely. So next feature of our foreign trade was monopoly control on Indian foreign trade. Indian foreign trade experienced monopoly control of Britishers on it. Near about 55 to 60% trade was directed towards Britain's surplus. Surplus trade, but only to benefit Britishers. Balance of trade was positive. How it was positive? Balance of trade was positive means export were greater than import. We were earning positively, but how? This was because our raw material was being exported, and that surplus was being totally used by the Britishers to develop their our own industries and improve the war equipments. Means they were exporting the raw materials and bringing imports. So that is why the export was positive, balance of trade was positive. Next topic in this chapter is, and the last chapter, this topic also, demographic profile on the eve of independence. There was high birth rate, high death rate. Birth rate and death rate were both very high. So dependency ratio rises when the people who are able to support the family are dying, and the newborn are taking birth, then dependency ratio rises, and when the dependency ratio rises, the poverty also rises. So there was a dependency ratio rising because people supporting the family were dying, and new generation is coming. There will not be no one to take care of them. So when dependency ratio rises and there is no one to handle, there is a situation arising which is called poverty. Another feature of demographic profile, if we see at the time of independence, was infant mortality rate. Infant mortality rate was too high at that time. Means children below the age of 1 year were dying. It was much high as compared to present IMR. It was 218 out of 1000, and at present if we see, it has improved a lot. Only 34 children are dying out of 1000 children, so it has improved considerably. Another feature of demographic profile at the time of independence was life expectancy. Life expectancy was 32 years only at that time. Because of such incurable diseases, our medical facilities was not improved so much. Now it has increased to 68 years, because there is a lot of improvement in the medical facilities nowadays. Hospitals have been built up, everything is there, infrastructure has improved a lot. Low literacy rate, nearly about 16% literacy rate for at that time, and for women it was more pathetic, it was only 7% at that time. Occupational structure, if we see it, occupational structure, consisted of three sectors: primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. We will see what was the condition in these sectors, how much employment was there. Primary included agriculture. Basically, in India, we all know maximum pollution. This population was depending on primary sector. Nearly 72% population depending on agriculture, and about agriculture, we have already discussed that had become stagnant at that time, which showed that Indian economy was in a backward and stagnant stage. Secondary sector. Secondary sector, if we looked at other countries, their dependency on secondary sector was quite high as compared to India. We were completely backward in industrial sector. There were no capital good industry, and even if we look today, our industries are not as developed as they should be as compared to other countries. If we compare to other countries, our industrial sector consisted of only 10% of in engaging the population. Only 10% population was engaged in industrial sector. So 72% of agriculture, 10% in secondary sector, the remaining was engaged in tertiary sector. Unbalanced growth coming in the tertiary sector. 17 to 18% in service sector. Tertiary sector includes service sector. There was unbalanced growth, and wherever there is uneven growth, that country is considered backward. So there should be even percentage of growth in all sector. There was you can see there is uneven growth in agriculture, it is too much high, and in other remaining two sector it is quite low. So there was unbalanced growth in, and whenever there is unbalanced growth in the three sectors, that country is considered backward country. So our economy was in backward stage at that time, on the eve of independence. There was no growth. Last feature of demographic profile was infrastructure. At that time, only our railways, ports, telegraphs were ready. Communication was also developed but was serving Britishers. Railways was also developed in India to transfer finished goods from Britain. Ports, seaports, and airports were made to export raw materials to Britain. Postal and telegraph departments was also developed, but to serve their own motives, to serve as centralized means or to administer their country. Roads were also developed to transport raw material which was scattered all over India. So this was all in this chapter. I hope you have understood it well. Thank you.